welcome to Pirate News. I'm Ava Ekberg.
And I'm Sabrina Silva. On today's broadcast, we'll be covering the most important news from around the campus and around the country.
We will also bring you the Seton Hall sports update and your 5-day weather forecast.
In January of 2020, the Office of the President announced that the Board of Regents approved funding for improvement in equipment, meaning that the College of Communication and the Arts television studio will be receiving a significant upgrade. Not only does this benefit the communication building, it also benefits the university's community as a whole. The television studio is vital in the curriculum of the visual and sound media program, as well as being a home to Pirate TV. This television studio will be expected to have full HD and live streaming capabilities, allowing for a reinvigorated curriculum as well as enhanced experimental learning. The upgraded studio will allow integration with athletic and provides the potential development of external partnerships with local news outlets. The upgrades are expected to be installed during the summer months and completed at the start of the fall 2020 semester.
On Thursday, February 6th, the Great Mind Dialogue Series will have their second speaker of the semester. Sister Norma Pimentel, who was named one of the world's 50 greatest leaders by Fortune magazine, will speak about the moral dilemmas with the immigration policies currently in place in the United States. This event will take place in Bethany Hall from 12:30 to 1:45. All are welcome and encouraged to attend.
Leadership students combat imposter syndrome on Friday, January 24th. Amy McGlynn and Lemore Ellman discussed imposter syndrome with freshmen from the Puccino Leadership Institute. Both Amy and Lemore share expertise on the imposter syndrome, which is experienced by people who read their goal for themselves, yet feel that their success is a fluke. It can be felt by any individual, as typically the person who suffers from it feels like an imposter. Students learned that 70% of people report having imposter syndrome, Lemore herself admitting to suffering from it in college. The freshmen felt empowered after this presentation, learning to never feel as though they are undeserving of something they earned.
Health Services has been providing tips for the Seton Hall community during the current flu season, as many people have been victim to the transmission of respiratory illnesses. As issued by the New Jersey Department of Health, Health Services has been informing all those on campus how to stay healthy. Some tips include to avoid touching one's eyes, nose, and mouth, washing hands and using hand sanitizer often, and disinfecting frequently touched objects.
And now we'll head over to Brady O'Malley with your Seton Hall sports update. Brady?
Thanks, Sabrina. Hello, Pirates. I'm Brady O'Malley, and I'm going to jump right into what's been going on lately with sports here at the Hall. Our women's tennis team kicked off their season this weekend with matches on Saturday and Sunday. On Saturday, they beat Binghamton for their season opener and won 4-0. They were not as lucky the next day, however, as they lost 4-0 to Georgetown. They now look to getting a win over UConn on Friday. Women's basketball fought a great game against Villanova on Sunday with a 65-63 victory. The team was trailing by 9 at the beginning of the fourth quarter, then scored 11 points, with Nova only responding with 1. The game ended with senior Shajeen Samuels grabbing a rebound off of a missed free throw and scoring with 2 seconds remaining. Samuels scored an astounding 25 points, followed by Desiree Elmore with 12 and Alexis Lewis with 11. They now go on to a sold-out game against Marquette tomorrow. The lineup the next couple of days for Seton Hall sports is stacked. Tomorrow we got our women's tennis team facing off against UConn at 2:45, followed by the previously mentioned women's basketball game against Marquette at 7. Saturday is chock full of games, starting with softball playing Longwood University at 11:45, then women's tennis taking on Drexel at 2:30, softball playing again, this time on the road at Elon University at 4:15, and our men's basketball team taking center stage for the highly anticipated showdown against number 10 Nova at 2. And finally, on Sunday, we got softball playing back-to-back games at 9:30 and 11:45 against University of Rhode Island, and women's basketball going up against number 14 DePaul at 1. And that's a wrap for your Seton Hall sports update. Once again, I'm Brady O'Malley. Now back to Ava and Sabrina with news from the tri-state area.
Thanks, Brady. 12 people have been attacked by a group of dogs on several different occasions in a neighborhood in Little Egg Harbor. The latest incident happened Monday afternoon around 2:15 when a man named John Kita was bitten on the leg. Police report that the 3 dogs involved are known to the department as they have attacked before. The dogs are currently being held at the Ocean County Animal Shelter, and the owner of the dogs is facing multiple charges from animal control.
Newark Library celebrates Black History Month with a new exhibit featuring Black athletes. The Black Athlete in America Protest, Activism, and Inclusion exhibit displays boxing legends Muhammad Ali and Joe Louis, as well as telling the stories of men athletes in professional and college sports through photographs and artifacts. Curator Dale Colson put together this exhibit exposing unsung heroes and famous athletes that made a difference in sports history. This exhibit also features Rutgers football star and civil rights pioneer Paul Robinson, Rutgers women's basketball coach C. Vivian Stringer, tennis great Aletha Gibson, and the Williams sisters, all focusing on the achievements and struggles of the athletes. The exhibit will be up through the end of April with special programming during Black History Month.
Now we'll head over to Connor Hester with your 5-day weather forecast. Connor?
Thanks, Ava. Hi, Pirates. I'm Connor Hester, and I'm here to give you your 5-day weather forecast for the South Orange area. Get your umbrellas ready, because on Thursday, expect some showers with a high of 46 and a low of 44. On Friday, that rain continues in the morning, giving way to some sun later, with the temperature getting up into the 50s later in the day with a low of 26. The weekend's looking pretty good with partly cloudy skies on Saturday with a high of 39 and a low of 25. Sunday, expect more of the same with a high of 43 and a low of 36. The rain returns on Monday as it warms back up a little bit with a high of 52 and a low of 39. That's going to conclude your 5-day weather forecast. I'm Connor Hester. Now back to Ava and Sabrina with the latest news from around the country.
Thanks, Connor. On Monday, the 2020 presidential election cycle kicked off with the Iowa caucus as many colleges across the state, including Drake University, Iowa State, and the University of Iowa, held caucus locations on campus. The Iowa Democratic Party released the majority of caucus results late on Tuesday after technical issues and confusion surrounding the collection of votes. With 75% of precincts reporting, former Mayor of South Bend, Indiana, Pete Buttigieg, led the results with 27% of the vote. Right behind him was Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders with 25% of the vote. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren had 18%, former Vice President Joe Biden had 16%, and Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar had 13%.
4 children that went missing this past Sunday during a blizzard in Alaska have been found alive. These 4 children, range ages 2 to 14, were found on Monday, 20 miles outside of the village of Newman, Iowa, on Alaska's west coast. The 4 children were identified as Christopher Johnson, 14, Frank Johnson, 8, Ethan Camille, 7, and Trey Camille, 2. Once found, they were sent to the hospital for medical clearance. A report was set out on Sunday at 6:25 p.m. when the children hadn't returned from a snow machine ride near the village. One asked how they managed to get too far from home. An official stated that blizzards are incredibly bad and that a sense of direction is not to be played with. Thankfully, the kids were found alive and are doing okay.
This concludes our broadcast of Pirate News. Once again, I'm Ava Ekberg.
And I'm Sabrina Silva. Thanks for watching and have a great day.